Hello, I am Tamsin, and welcome back to English Sound Building, the advanced pronunciation podcast that celebrates the physical side of language learning, encouraging you to do the work to build muscle memory, and master new sounds. As always, we will start with our reminder that successful communication is possible in any one of the thousands of global English accents. There is no ideal. But learning about pronunciation can lead to clearer speech. It will help you with your listening. It's fascinating and it is fun, and that is why we're here. Podcast scripts are available on the podcast webpage and on my Patreon page. That's www.patreon.com/EnglishBrickByBrick. So if you find it useful to read as you listen, that is where to go. And finally, remember, you can support the podcast in two ways. Firstly, on that Patreon page, you can find the link in the episode notes if you need to. And on Patreon, a little support really does make a difference. As always, thank you to those of you who are currently supporting me over there or who have done in the past. And secondly, you can take classes with me online where I teach via italki. Now, I've closed down my public availability on there for the moment, but I always try to make space for podcast listeners. So please message me if you're interested. I'd love to meet you. So today we're coming back to two short vowels we've looked at before in contrast with other vowels. We looked at way back in episode 3 in contrast with a, and we looked at I last season in episode 25 in contrast with the long vowel E. Today we'll be contrasting and I with each other. And I should stress that we're talking about the contrast between them in a modern RP English from England accent. These vowels can sound quite a bit different in some regional and global Englishes, although there would still be a contrast between them in most of those cases. As we go, see if you can tell how they sound in your English. Let's start with a recap of how to make the sounds. They're both front vowels, which means that the front of your mouth is doing a lot of work. Is a mid-front vowel. So we need to drop our jaws a bit, not fully, to get some space in the mouth. And then we need to put our lips in that wide smile position and vibrate the vocal cords in a very short burst, and hopefully you'll get eh. If you hear the sound slightly differently, experiment with opening or closing your jaw a few millimeters, moving your tongue up and down or forward and back in your mouth as you do so, and making sure that you really are pulling your lips back into that smile. Listen to what happens when I play around with all of these positions and have a go yourself. Let's move on to I. So I is more closed and is slightly more central than eh. So your jaw will be higher, close to its naturally relaxed position, and you'll feel the middle of your tongue higher in your mouth. You'll still need to have some tension in your lips, but you probably won't reach as wide a smile position as you do with the eh. Let's try I. Again, if you don't hear the sound in the same way, experiment with your jaw, tongue, and lip position until you do. Okay, let's see if we've got it by moving between the two sounds quickly. And then the other way. Well done. And if you are finding that you need a review of those sounds, please do go back to episode 3 or that Cheap as Chips episode from last season, episode 25, to review those sounds in contrast with other similar vowels as well. Okay, we're going to move on to some common words with both sounds and then, of course, to some minimal pairs. First, let's recap some of the common words with from episode 3. I've just chosen 12 of these for today. Listen and repeat. Any, bed, better, every, fresh, letter, never, sent, slept, test, well, went. And let's read them again in groups of 4. Any, bed, better, every. Fresh, letter, never, sent. Slept, test, well, went. Well done, and a couple of sentences with those words. Sentence number 1, as usual, I'll read these 3 times, the first time slowly for you to grasp the meaning. I'll pause for you to have a bit of thinking time. I will then repeat 2 more times at a more natural pace, pausing after each one of those, this time for you to repeat. Sentence 1. He'd never slept better in any bed. He'd never slept better in any bed. He'd never slept better in any bed. And sentence 2. The letter she sent said the test went well. The letter she sent said the test went well. The letter she sent said the test went well. Okay, and now 12 common words with I from episode 25. Listen and repeat. Big. Chicken. Finish. Fish. His. Quickly. River. This. Ticket. Tourist. Trip. Which. And in groups of 4. Big, chicken, finish, fish. His, quickly, river, this. Ticket, tourist, trip, which. And a couple of sentences with those words. Sentence 1. Bill bit a big bit of chicken, but didn't finish the fish. Bill bit a big bit of chicken, but didn't finish the fish. Bill bit a big bit of chicken, but didn't finish the fish. And sentence 2. The tourist quickly needs a ticket for his river trip. The tourist quickly needs a ticket for his river trip. The tourist quickly needs a ticket for his river trip. Well done. Okay, now let's move on to those minimal pairs. We have plenty of these to get through today, so we're going to work hard. For the first 10, we're going to read both words together. Listen and repeat. Bed, bid. Beg, big. Bell, bill. Belt, built. Bet, bit. Bless, bliss. Check, chick. Crept, crypt. Dead, did. Deck, dick. Well done. And if you want to do some extra practice, it would be a great idea to go back over that list again and read them again, but starting with the I word this time and then the E word second. For the next 10, I am going to read the E word and I would like you to say both. As usual, we'll do the first one together as an example. Den. So you should have said den, din. Or if you did it the other way around and said din, den, that is of course fine too. Let's try the rest. Desk. Fell. Gem. Get. Head. Hell. Hem. Jest. Kept. Okay, now listen, repeat, and see how you did. And as usual, we're getting into some pretty high level vocabulary with some of these minimal pairs, so do get your dictionaries out if you need to. We'll go back from number 11, from den, din. So den, din. Desk, disc. Fell, fill. Gem, gym. Get, git. Head, hid. Hell, hill. Hem, him. Jest, gist. Kept, kipped. Well done. And we are going to then do the last 10. This time I am going to say the I word. Can you read both? Again, we'll do the first one together as an example. Lid. So you should have said lid, lead, or of course, if you did it the other way around and you said lead, lid, that is fine as well. Let's do the last 9. Lift. List. Lit. Middle. Miss. Missed. Pig. Pit. Sit. Well done. Listen again to both this time. Repeat again and see how you did. Lid, led. Lift, left. List, lest. Lit, let. Middle, medal. Miss, mess. Missed, messed. Pig, peg. Pit, pet. Sit, set. Well done, and there are quite a few tricky consonant clusters in some of those minimal pairs as well, so well done for getting your mouth around those as well. Let's finish with a few sentences with words from those minimal pairs. Listen and repeat. Number 1, they crept into the crypt and hid. They crept into the crypt and hid. They crept into the crypt and hid. Sentence 2. He missed the mess in the left lift. He missed the mess in the left lift. He missed the mess in the left lift. Sentence 3. She begged him to bid big on the big bed. She begged him to bid big on the big bed. She begged him to bid big on the big bed. And sentence 4. I got the gist of the jest, but I missed the best bit. I got the gist of the jest, but I missed the best bit. I got the gist of the jest, but I missed the best bit. Well done. Some of those were tricky. I really struggled with the big bed. Let me know how you got on. And that is the end of this week's workout. As always, practice as often as possible to build muscle and muscle memory, speeding the podcast up or slowing it down as you need to. If you are new here and you would like to follow me on social media, come find me on Instagram or Facebook at English Brick by Brick, and of course on Patreon at www.patreon.com/English Brick by Brick. We will be back next week. We're picking up on this eh and I sound again, but we're looking at how they behave in a couple of diphthongs, ear and air. It's going to be quite an interesting one, so enjoy sound building, and I'll see you then.